It's something no one wants to think about, but for many it becomes a reality. One moment, you're waking up next to the person you've spent a lifetime with. The next, they're gone. Suddenly the house is too quiet. Meals feel like chores. Even breathing can feel heavier. This is the story of Elaine Turner, a 74-year-old woman from Charleston, South Carolina, who lost her husband of 52 years, Tom, to a sudden stroke. "I didn't know where to begin," she said. "I was surrounded by photos, memories, and silence. But Elaine did something powerful. She survived. And what she learned in those first few months could help thousands of seniors just like her. Here are the four most important things every senior must do when they lose their spouse, backed by Elaine's journey and the wisdom she wishes someone had shared sooner. Elaine found herself at the kitchen table with stacks of documents she didn't recognize: insurance forms, bank statements, utility bills, and legal papers. "Tom always handled the finances," she admitted. "I didn't even know the password to our online bank account." This is more common than people realize. The first step to surviving the loss of a spouse isn't emotional, it's practical. Find the will. Locate insurance policies. Notify the bank and Social Security. Close or transfer joint accounts. And if you don't know where these things are before your spouse passes, now is the time to sit down together and make a plan. Elaine says the one thing that saved her: a binder Tom had secretly labeled "In Case I Go First." It had everything she needed. "That binder was like a hug from him," she whispered. Within 2 weeks of Tom's passing, Elaine received a phone call. A man claimed to be from the funeral home, saying there was an outstanding balance. There wasn't. It was a scam. Seniors who've just lost a spouse are prime targets for financial predators. Grief can cloud judgment, and criminals know it. Elaine installed a call blocker, froze her credit temporarily, and asked her daughter to help monitor her bank account. "I felt paranoid at first," she said, "but then I realized I wasn't being paranoid. I was being smart." The best move? Speak to a trusted financial advisor, ideally one you both knew as a couple, and never ever make big financial decisions in the first 6 months unless absolutely necessary. One of the hardest parts for Elaine wasn't handling money, it was breakfast. For 52 years, Tom made the coffee every morning at 6:45 a.m. sharp. The silence at 6:45 felt like a scream. "That's when it hit me the hardest," she said. "The small things." So Elaine started creating new habits. She took a short walk each morning. She learned to make her own version of Tom's scrambled eggs. She joined a local book club, not to forget Tom, but to honor him by continuing to live. "You need a reason to get out of bed," she said, "even if it's just to water the plants." There were nights Elaine cried until her pillow was soaked, and that's okay. But she didn't let the loneliness become her new identity. She reached out to friends, to her church group, even to people she hadn't spoken to in years. "I forced myself to say yes when I wanted to say no," she laughed. "Yes to dinner, yes to the movies, yes to pickleball, whatever that is." She even adopted a small rescue dog named Max. "He doesn't replace Tom," she said, "but he reminds me to get outside, to smile, to throw a ball." The truth is, grief is the price we pay for love, but love can also be what helps us heal. Elaine didn't become stronger overnight. There were setbacks, days when she didn't want to get dressed, when a song on the radio would send her into tears, when even the sound of laughter from neighbors felt cruel. But step by step, she moved forward. She turned Tom's old office into a sunroom filled with plants. She started writing in a journal, just small thoughts, memories, or even letters to Tom. And one day she wrote something that stopped her in her tracks. "I am still me." That was the turning point. Elaine realized that while grief would always live beside her, it didn't have to lead her. Elaine began attending a local grief support group, even though she hated the idea at first. "I thought it would be depressing," she said, "but it turned out to be one of the best decisions I ever made." She met people who understood, people who didn't say, "He's in a better place," or "You'll find someone new." They just listened, nodded, shared their own stories. Some were angry, some were scared, some were just tired. But together they made each other stronger. Elaine says those meetings helped her stop feeling like, a widow, and start feeling like Elaine again. And that's something no amount of time alone could have given her. One afternoon, while going through old photo albums, Elaine stumbled on a note Tom had written in his barely legible scrawl. It simply said, "Keep laughing. You've got the best laugh in the world." That one line changed everything. Elaine decided that her healing wouldn't just be quiet reflection, it would be living. She signed up for a watercolor class. She volunteered at the local animal shelter. She even took a short cruise with her daughter, something she never imagined doing alone. "I didn't go on that cruise to forget Tom," she said. "I went because he would have wanted me to see the world we always dreamed of." Losing a spouse isn't just about missing someone. It's about relearning who you are without them. It's terrifying. But it's also an invitation to explore new hobbies, to build new friendships, to rediscover passions, to give yourself permission to feel joy again without guilt. Elaine says the most important thing she's learned: you're allowed to be happy, even after loss, especially after loss. Narration continues. Elaine once believed her best days were behind her, but now at 75, she sees life differently. "I thought growing old meant fading away," she said, "but really it's just another chapter, and maybe the most honest one." It's not that she doesn't miss Tom. She does, every single day. But instead of letting that pain weigh her down, she lets it guide her. "Whenever I'm not sure what to do," she smiled, "I ask myself, what would Tom be proud of? Then I do that." Some days Elaine still cries over their anniversary dinner alone. Some nights she still reaches over to his side of the bed. "That ache never leaves," she said, "but I've learned to walk with it instead of running from it." Grief isn't something you get over. It doesn't disappear after a certain amount of time. And that's okay. Healing is not a straight line. Some moments hurt. Some moments feel peaceful. Some are even filled with laughter. And that, Elaine says, is the most surprising thing of all. How much laughter still lives inside me. A year after Tom passed, Elaine did something bold. She began mentoring other widows in her community. "At first, I didn't think I had anything to offer," she said, "but once I started sharing my story, I realized I wasn't alone, and neither were they." Through local senior centers, she now hosts monthly coffee and courage mornings, open to anyone who's lost a spouse and doesn't know where to start. "There's no advice," she says, "just coffee, tissues, and understanding." Sometimes just being heard is the first step toward healing, a new kind of love. Elaine doesn't plan to remarry. "Tom was my great love," she says, but that doesn't mean her heart is closed. She's found love in new ways, in the quiet company of her dog Max, in the warmth of her granddaughter's hand at Sunday brunch, in the way her garden blooms each spring, just like Tom used to say it would. "I thought my story was over," she reflects. "Turns out it just had a plot twist." If you're facing the unbearable loss of a spouse, or just the fear of it, please know you are still needed. Your wisdom, your stories, your laughter, your presence. You may feel broken, but broken things can still shine, sometimes even brighter. Elaine's journey isn't unique, but her courage is a light for anyone walking the same path. So if this video helped you, or reminded you that life still holds beauty even after loss, we'd be honored if you'd share it. Click like, subscribe for more heartfelt stories, and leave a comment if you have words of your own to pass on. Because healing is hard, but together we can make it a little easier. And remember, it's not just about surviving after loss. It's about loving life again, in your own way, at your own pace. You're not alone. Not now. Not ever.